Hey, yo. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm starting a brand new series where all I do is talk about video games and essentially all the great things about them. This isn't so much about a game review, or I'm not even looking to see if a game's bad or good. This is more so about what is something that a video game does well. And in particular, I want to dive into one today called UFC 4. So let's dive in.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
The main thing I'm going to be looking into is the fighter evolution aspect of the career mode within UFC 4. When I say fighter evolution, really, that's just a fancy word for skill tree, but I'll talk to the particulars of it and we'll dive in a little bit. The move list. The move list. This is where it's at. This is the part of the fighter evolution skill tree that I think is the lifeblood of the game. I think this right here is something that should be stolen from any of games, can be used in almost any game. Let's talk about it. Let's jump in. All right. Moves. The move list. Yeah. Let's go and talk about the move list, guys. So, crazy thing about moves in this game is everything else can be upgraded by earning those attribute points. You get those points, you're good to go. Apply the stat, no work required, keep it moving. This right here is where the work is put in. You don't earn any XP in this game when it comes to your actual moves unless you use the move. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Unless you get out there and you actually execute the move, you will not get any better with that move. You can be an UFC champion, and if you never throw a leg kick, you're going to have a level 1 leg kick. That's how crazy it is with this system. Now, why do I bring this up? Why would that be a like thing? So, I think that this system is unique in the sense that you're going to get a correlation between how many times you actually throw something and how good your character gets with it. And in between, you're building up a synergy with that. After you throw, if you throw 10 flying elbows, the buttons in general might not come to you as quickly. It might not just be like the back of your hand type of throwing elbows. It won't be like that. But after you throw 1,000 of them elbows, man, look, after you throw 1,000 elbows, not only will you have the elbow range down and understand when to use it, you might even know by then how to mix it into combos. And through that use, the fighter's getting better, you're getting better because you have to play. I can't just apply a whole bunch of stats to my flying elbow and then never use it. It doesn't work like that. And I think that's kind of a good thing because in this sense, the point is you're supposed to train. If you're going to train, then you need to throw those bows a million times in order to get good at it. You have to learn your moves inside this game to be able to get good at them. That alone is already the first part. The second part of it is you can actually change those moves throughout the game. Now, this is one part of the mechanic I would say that for the sake of time, I would change one aspect of this. And let me explain. Whenever you start the game, you start off with a jab. As you train with other people, you can learn other abilities such as the back fist, which is a variation on the jab. So you'll be replacing your jab with the back fist. Sounds good, right? Well, you have to start back at level 0. Well, level 1. You have to go back to level 1 in order to get good with the back fist. And it's under the jab family. That part of the game, I understand why they did it, because if you're going to have to grind and learn a move, you should have to learn all the moves all the way through. But I will say, for the sake of time, if there was an option to be able to say, hey, match however much progression I've already made on my jab to my back fist, that would be nice. Because, well, it would be nice because it would increase the fluidity that you can have with your character. You wouldn't be afraid to swap out 10 different moves at once, because if you were to swap out 10 moves at once, they would all go from, let's say you're a level 4, all the way down to a level 1. And if you're fighting at championship level. You're not going to want to walk in there with 10 moves that are at level 1, especially if you know that those are in your rotation at all times. That part of the system, I think, is tricky. I think that they could have just allowed you to be able to keep your progression as is under the jab family. And that's for any of the moves across the board that are in here. Trust me, though, for anybody who's ever played a game that has a level up system, you're probably looking at that bar and you're saying to yourself, yeah, nah, I don't want to go through having to grind all that and learn the mobilities from scratch. No, thank you. I feel you and I understand it. There is one caveat when it comes to this game, though. You level up fairly quickly. I would say levels 1 through 3 are really fast. Level 3 to 4 is fairly quick. If you focus in on that through a whole training camp, you could probably get it done. Level 4 to 5, now that is where the ball busting comes in, and you will be on that grind machine for a minute. I mean, get your windsuit ready and start pedaling, baby, because you're going to be on that ride for a long time. But there's ways to get around that. Well, ways to speed up the progress. First is sparring. Sparring will give you the advantage of each week, each trainer can actually teach you something different. I say teach, but really they can give you a boost to something different. So if I go to wrestling, for example, if I'm trying to work on knees to the body while on the ground, I'm going to want to go to wrestling and see if he's giving me a boost in XP. I come and check on this one. The guy's giving me around 36% increase when it comes to ground strikes. In particular, ground body knees. You come into a session like this, you're going to get a twofer. 1, I need to hit this challenge off rip. Get up. Knock that out immediately. 5 points down. Fighter Evolution points in the bag. Appreciate you. Next part of it is I'm jumping straight into ground body knees. I'm going to take him to the ground, and I'm just going to be doing that for the rest of the minutes remaining. And that is it. And as you can see, this is kind of what the boost is that you get coming out of it if you just focus in on that area. So you don't want to come into these practices and be spreading out everything you're doing. This is sparring. So in sparring, you're only going to want to work on 1, maybe 2 things. You only have 2 minutes, so most likely you're going to be busting your ass on just one thing. So you come into sparring, you got what you wanted. Let's say you come in here and all of a sudden you look and you're like, you know what, I really want to work on ground body knees, but it's not available. So in this case, what you're looking at right here, I'm going to say wrestling get-ups, but we're going to be talking about ground body knees. I want to work on wrestling get-ups. Well, I'm not getting a bonus in here for wrestling get-ups. There's a better option. You're going to want to invite a fighter over. Now, the inviter-fighter system is cheesable. I'm not going to lie. You can cheese the hell out of it. You get 5 minutes inside these training sessions. Okay? 5 minutes. That is a lot of time for a training. You can really get some progression done. First time you come to this, you're going to look and you're going to say, oh my God, dude, to invite a fighter and then fight him is really expensive. It's costing me like $50K, $60K, which is a lot. It is. But that cost actually goes down over time. If you build a relationship with that person, that knocks the cost down. If you train with that person multiple times, that knocks the cost down. How do you train with them multiple times? Well, you pretty much have to go in there and fail. Your objective is to go into these and not do whatever it is they're asking you to do. So if my man is over here to say, hey, I want you to practice giving me a crucifix or what? I don't know why I'm saying that. You can't even do crucifixes in this game. I want you to come in here and do a hand plant roundhouse. I got zero intentions of doing that because I don't even want that move. I'm not even going to use that move. But what I will do is use that 5 minutes to grind, and grind I will. These guys in here are also better than your sparring partners because your sparring partners, especially the boxing dude, man, this motherfucker. That guy there is a problem. Like, he's aggressive. If you're trying to complete a mission, he's all over you. Like, he's in your ass constantly. But the inviter fighters? No. They're so much more chill. Most of the time, they're kind of waiting around for you to execute the move that they're trying to teach you. And then they'll start to kind of progress and get a little active. I mean, they will strike you back here and there, but it's not coming with power. It's not really coming with intention. And you'll pretty much be okay. Don't pull that when it comes to sparring. Sparring, take that seriously. That's 2 minutes of death. And here is pretty much 5 minutes of play. And by the end, watch, I'll go ahead and show you here. look at all this progression, bro. Look at all this progression I'm getting off of just one training session. Like, if you just focus in on a particular area, you can really, really grind it. And this is the best way to do it. I mean, each training camp, I'm swapping between those two. I'm probably spending more time inside the fighter. I'm probably spending more time inside the Invita fighter than I actually am inside of sparring. Like I said, I only go to sparring. There's a bonus there, or if I'm hard at work trying to get some evolution points. Otherwise, I'm going to the Inviter fighter session and I'm grinding those moves out. I mean, my God, look at this, man. Look at that. Look at that. And like I said, taking advantage of bonuses, that's how much you get for all that too. So you're winning on both sides when it comes to that. Note this though. This system is amazing, but don't cross the line when it comes to this. And when I say don't cross the line, how do you cross the line in this game, right? Yeah, don't knock out your training partner. Like, if you knock out your training partner, not only will they start to get upset with you, but there's a chance that they won't work with you again. And if they won't work with you again, let's say there is a move on the list you do want to learn, that move is gone. So try your best not to knock your partner out in the middle of these sessions. And that's easy. You know, you got to play it smart. You're going to have to, I would say when you come into these, you're going to have to target essentially a head move, a body move, and a leg move. Why? You're going to want to rotate these. These dudes are okay, but they take damage really, really fast. So have a move that you can, hit them in the face with. Once their face is worn down and they can't take any more face blows, start working the body. Once the body's been touched up enough to where they can't take body blows, start working the legs. Once the legs are worked up enough, rotate the system all over again. Do this throughout the entire training and you will be safe. Just try your best not to knock them out or injure them. And I'm saying knockout, but really don't incapacitate them. And you'll know you did so because the training will end immediately and they'll be looking at you like, bruh, I just came here to show you how to do a hand plant. What the fuck? So I say that this system is good because it hits a few different levels. You get upgrade points just for doing things, which gives you some type of bite size of reward. And I say bite size, but that reward is essentially your foundation. If you want to hit harder, you're going to need those points and you're going to earn those points along the way. The second part is actually having to use a skill and get used to the mechanics. Not just saying I picked up the sticks, I can go. I'm going to have to use that mechanic and learn the mechanics of the game. This is teaching me the mechanics of the game. And if I'm able to get to a 5-star with a move, I mean, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty damn confident that I know that move, you know? So you're trying to learn the technique of the game and master that. Through the progression of the game and by using the moves, you're naturally going to do that. And the game kind of forces you to do that. And in a fighting game, that's everything. You need the reps of actually doing these moves to where you're not really thinking about them as much. That's a half second too slow. So the game forces you in a situation where you're going to have to learn, and they make the grind there, but it's not so grindy that you're like, I'm basically just going to stop at 4-star and call it a day. No. The game will allow you to progress if you focus on that. And that's the beautiful part. This is a grind, but it's not too much grind. It's enough to be able to teach you, and that's it. So I'm sitting down here, and I just want to say, UFC, I appreciate the way that the training camp system in this was all put together. Like, this was an excellent way to give me a representation of what it feels like to go through a training camp, work out a move. If that's the move you're going to try to use for this fight, you need to get good at it, not just in stat wise, but you also need to get good with it technique wise as a player. If there was no upgrade system attached to it, you would still have to try to get good with that move as a player to understand how it works. Yo, thanks to everybody for listening to me rant about all the good things that comes along with UFC's progression system. I hope to do more of these in the future on different games and keep it pushing. So thank you guys for listening. Catch you later.